Welcome back. Donald Tsang's former deputy testified at his trial today. Henry Tang said he knows all but one shareholder of Wave Media, which is at the centre of the corruption case involving the former chief executive. Elmi Lung reports.
Former Chief Secretary for Administration Henry Tang spent the morning testifying at the High Court. He admitted to knowing 8 out of the 9 shareholders of Wave Media when dealing with its license application. These included David Lee, Ronald Aculli, Albert Chang and Bill Wong. Tang said the declaration of interest for Executive Council members usually includes direct interest or potential conflict. But if they all declared knowing the stakeholders, then council meetings cannot be held because they would all be excluded. The defense counsel asked whether knowing the shareholders personally would affect his judgment. Tang replied that it did not affect me. On whether he had any personal business or private dealings with the shareholders, Tang said he owned a Bank of East Asia credit card, but that did not constitute conflict of interest. David Lee is the bank's chairman. Prosecutors followed by asking Tang if Donald Tsang ever mentioned to him a Shenzhen flat he intended to live in after stepping down or even invited him to visit. Tang said no. The court also heard that the Honours Committee, which Henry Tang chaired, nominated architect Barry Ho. Tang said at the time he was not aware Ho was tasked with designing a Shenzhen flat for Tsang. In Henry Tang's view, Donald Tsang took a personal and active interest in constitutional change during his time in office. He also agreed with the defense that Tsang had been a moving force in protecting the Hong Kong dollar and stock market in the Asian financial crisis in the late 1990s. Elmi Long, TVB News.
Well, Hong Kong is getting ready to usher in the Year of the Rooster. The mood is festive around town on this Lunar New Year's Eve. And Rachel Leung joins us now from the Mong Kok Flower Market. Rachel, it looks pretty busy out there, is it?
It is. I've been here at the flower market in Mong Kok since this afternoon, and it's becoming more crowded as the night goes by. Visiting the market is a great way to get into the festive spirit, and many are here to pick up flowers and plans for good luck in the year ahead. Out with the Year of the Monkey and in with the Year of the Rooster. This year's Lunar New Year celebrations are in full swing. Ahead of the arrival of the Year of the Rooster, a message from the Chief Executive. Leung Chun-ying highlighted the importance of celebrating and upholding the Lunar New Year traditions.
喺咁多節日當中，我最中意農曆新年。
Leung said of all the festivals in Hong Kong, he likes the Chinese New Year the most because it has the strongest festive atmosphere. He noted that some local people, especially youngsters, prefer to do less when it comes to Lunar New Year celebrations. But he hopes that the traditions can be passed on to highlight Hong Kong as a melting pot of Chinese and Western cultures. What about the weather in the next few days? The Hong Kong Observatory says it will be mild during the day in the first 3 days of the Lunar New Year. It will turn cooler on Monday night. And on this final day of the Year of the Monkey, many people have already been flocking to various Lunar New Year fairs around town. There are more than a dozen of them around town, including the biggest one at Victoria Park. They will stay open well past midnight. Police today told members of the public not to disrupt public order or take part in radical acts during the festive season. Police say they recently noted on the internet and other sources calls on people to take part in assemblies that might disrupt public order. They expressed concern and urged the public to air their views in a peaceful and rational manner. Some say tonight is the best time to visit the markets because stalls will slash their prices as midnight comes. But if you're planning on coming out here to one of these markets, please make good use of public transportation because roads are already closed off in some of the areas. That's all from me here. Back to you in the studio.
OK, thanks very much, Rachel. And that was Rachel Leung reporting live from Mong Kok. Turning overseas again, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has apologized to South Korea for the killing of one of its citizens by police. Duterte then went on to say he had wanted to hang the rogue policemen and send their heads to Seoul. He promised the toughest punishment for the officers behind the killing of businessman Ji Ik-ju inside the National Police headquarters in October. The accused are anti-narcotics officers. Ji's death comes as Philippine police face growing criticism from human rights groups who say cover-ups and abuses of police power are rampant.
Austrian police have arrested 14 people across the country on suspicion of belonging to the Islamic State militant group. Police made a series of coordinated raids in Vienna and in the southern city of Graz. Prosecutors said around 800 police officers took part in the raids. A police spokesman said those taken into custody included 3 Austrians with foreign roots, 2 Bosnians, a Syrian and a Macedonian. The nationalities of the other suspects were not immediately known. OK, we've got some more tennis, yeah?
Yes, that's right. There's another semi-final in action underway in Melbourne right now. It's between Rafa Nadal and Grigor Dimitrov, who are battling in Melbourne for a spot in the Australian Open men's final. The winner will take on Roger Federer in the final. Yesterday, Federer beat fellow Swiss Stan Wawrinka in a 5-set thriller. Wawrinka